Yeah, I know. He's yanking it up, trying to pull it out and get to the fishing contest.
All right, I'm going to open the meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone to the regular meeting, Moose Lake City Council for Wednesday, January 9th, 2018. I'd like to start with a Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first item, I should have said we're opening for the organizational meeting, which we'll do first and then close and then open for the regular Moose Lake City Council meeting. First thing is the agenda. Are there any changes, Tim, to the agenda? Because we really shouldn't be adding,
Nope.
just changes. Very good. There is no consent agenda. And as far as public comment, would this be on matters, your idea of matters on the appointments?
Yeah, if somebody wanted to speak to the annual appointments, they could now.
We'll keep the comments to 3 minutes. Are there any? Hearing none. Really, there are no department reports for this or previously discussed business, so we'll go down to number 6, the new business, which is the committee and board appointments. And if you look on the next page, page 2, 3, and 4, you'll see all the different committees and appointments we have to make. First one is the city attorney. I think I'll go down to the official city newspaper, and then we'll do a motion. And then we'll go into the different committees. The city attorney, Flattery and Hood. Now, the city engineer, we're going to continue this until we do a process.
Yep.
So right now, the city engineer,
Just Bolton.
Steve Health, Bolton and Mink. I think Steve has retired, so we'll just put Bolton and Mink for now. City financial advisor, Northland Securities. Bond counsel, Kennedy and Craven, chartered. City auditor, Clifton Larson Allen. City funds depository, First National Bank of Moose Lake. The official city newspaper is the Star Gazette. Any discussion, question by the council or a motion?
So move that we accept the appointments as read.
I have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Planning Commission, myself, Doug Jutman, there is an opening from 12/31. Well, that's when it would close, 2019, correct?
So they're
Open right now.
for discussion under the Planning Commission would be the city council position, the open position, although we don't have any applicants, and Joanne Unzen. She did respond that she was still interested in being on the Planning Commission. The open spot has been a water and light commissioner. Neither of the two current commissioners had stated that they wanted to be on there. So yes, technically we have an open position, but there are 3 spots that you guys can discuss.
Only have one city council member, right?
Correct. 1 city council member and the mayor, which the mayor is listed in the
City council.
listed in the ordinance that the mayor will sit on that committee.
Mr., or I should say Councilor Jutman, would you like to stay on the Planning Commission?
Sure.
Very good. Are there any city council members?
So, Mayor, just a
Yes.
question. So if there's 3 executives there, Is that a problem, or just have to?
It's not that it's a problem. I will have to post that we will technically have a quorum of the city council. So the planning commission meetings are already
Do you
open
want
to
to be
the-
on it? Mike?
I can go on there with you, yep.
Or you can definitely take my spot if you'd like to be on it.
Nope, it's fine. I think too, as long as we can swing it, that's great. Because you have a lot of good input, so.
Thank you.
We advertised it, we didn't get a,
We did not advertise it only because that particular spot is only open.
for,
Yes. So
Water and Light Commission.
the other option is that you all can tell me that you want to publish it outside of the Water and Light Commissioners.
Unless you want to post it.
I imagine the commission did not discuss that.
We did, and right now, it's just actually two of us right now, and Kurt wasn't interested, so.
All right.
If there's a last resort, I'll go on it. But I thought only one city council member.
Yeah, because of having a quorum. Like,
So there,
Posted as a meeting, it shouldn't be an issue, right?
yes, but there are two different things happening. One is a city council spot, one is a Water and Light Commissioner spot, which, let's just do the city councilor one first, and then the Water and Light one, so far, needs to be a Water and Light Commissioner, but you could also tell me not to have it be a Water and Light Commissioner. So let's just do the city council one first, maybe even do Joanne Unzen second, and then we can talk about the open one.
very well. Do we have a motion to
So
appoint Counselor Jottman onto the planning commission?
And Joanne Unzen, I so move to do that.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. That brings us to the commissioner's position.
Mayor,
Yes.
would it be okay with everyone just to leave it open, because we're looking at getting a new person on the board, and possibly they'd be interested in that position?
And we could open it up, have it complete that next council meeting.
That would be just fine.
That would be my thought.
Very
That would
good.
be just fine.
Have consensus with everyone?
That's fine.
Very good. Moving on to the Economic Development Authority. Counselor Doug Jottman, Counselor Greg Sarvala, Yvonne Skelton, T. Gurkowski, and Steve Olson.
So we just appointed all of these last month. I think at the first meeting, second meeting, something like that, I might ask the three, Yvonne, Tia, and Steve, to stagger those. We also didn't technically pass the bylaws. That's something that the Economic Development Authority will do, which will then be brought here. So the 3 years that's listed there is not set in stone, maybe. It's just kind of an idea, a placeholder for now.
Very good. They can work that out within the committee and bring it back. And we've already appointed the two council members, so we should be fine.
No approval?
I don't think we need approval now.
Let's just do it since we're in the organizational meeting anyway.
So move that the 5 that are on the committee right now are reappointed.
A second.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Zoning Administrator, Tim Peterson, City Administrator.
So move.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Housing and Redevelopment Authority,
Both would like to continue to sit on the HRA board.
Catherine Lexeth and Joanne Morrissey. We would need a motion on those two.
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Parks and Recreation Board, we're showing all 2017.
That's because there's no term for the Parks and Rec. There's not 1 year or 2 year or 3
All
year.
right,
It's
so we're
just,
we're looking at, Todd Newland is no longer on the committee.
take him out.
Yep.
Isn't that Becky, though?
Yes. Veronica is no longer on it either.
So you guys probably,
Greg Savla, Becky Leaf, Custer, Barney Hollis, Graydon O'Lean, Lowell Urban, and I also go to it.
I'll add you on there.
We do have 2 openings, Todd Newland and Veronica. Well, we've had one new member that we approved.
It was Veronica.
No,
So,
it was a young gentleman, Mr. Stewart.
Oh, Ross Stewart.
Ross,
Ross Stewart.
yes, he was approved on the committee.
So then if we,
Replaced
Veronica.
Veronica.
if we include you on this list and we replace one of these with Ross Stewart, you said,
Right.
then we're at 7. So I probably would not suggest adding another person.
All right, so we need to approve,
You need to approve you and Greg being on the committee then.
Ross, you mean?
Ross.
Ross Stewart.
No,
Oh, Greg.
Greg Sarvalo, the counselor, and Ted is the
I'll
mayor.
make that motion. We approve Greg Sarvela and Mayor Shaw. For
do I have
part.
a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. The library board, we have 2 that are up. Gail Lundgren from the township, Moose Lake Township, Eleanor Eskery from Moose Lake.
And I'm sorry, I know that Gail wanted to be, Eleanor wanted to be on there too, right, Steve?
I believe so.
Yes, okay, sorry.
Holly Purser's in that open spot.
Polly Purser. And you guys already voted on that one last year?
Right, so that'll be next year.
Okay.
So we have 2 for a motion, Gail and Eleanor.
So I do move to reappoint Gail and Eleanor to the library board.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. The cemetery board, we do have one opening, and we do have a letter of interest.
Nope, that one was
June
rescinded.
Oh, she received it?
Nobody responded to sit on the cemetery board.
Well,
June-
yeah, it says
June
June
Zelfie.
Mackey right here.
June Mackey.
So I'm assuming this letter of interest.
Do you have it in here?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, there you go, June Mackey.
Yeah,
When did I get that?
on Monday.
Monday. That's really not that long ago.
I'll make a motion that we accept June's letter for the cemetery board.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. Public Utilities Commission, we have an opening, we do have a letter from Mr. Keith Carlson. And that is the only one?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion, we accept Keith Carlson for the open position on the Public Utilities Commission.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. Fire District Board, I'm on it, I'd like to stay on it unless there's somebody that wants to.
So move that we reappoint Mayor Shaw on the fire district board.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. The next area, I'll read through the city officers and officials for the rest of this page, and then we'll do it all at one time. Mayor Pro Tem Chris Husso. Chris,
I think somebody else might want to step up and be that.
You did such a great job last year that
Yes.
one more year of your leadership would be helpful for me
I'm sure would.
and Greg. We both agreed with that. So I make them, yeah.
That was one of the more efficient meetings that took place.
Very
I
very
do,
efficient.
yeah, what?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Nice work.
So, I so move that we reappoint Chris as the mayor pro temp.
Second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Now, this one, I'm up for anybody who wants to volunteer. Weed and tree inspector?
I'll take it from you,
That was
Ted.
by statute.
I'll take it from you.
Isn't it his by statute?
I have no problem taking
I
that
thought that
one.
was by
It is
statute.
by statute.
Why are we having it on there then?
I don't know. The city administrator likes to see that.
Thanks for stepping up though, Mike.
Now, is the administrator the dog catcher too? Did we animal control officer?
I think that one got passed back to...
Oh, that's coming up.
to
Okay.
the chief, yeah.
Safety officer, Phil Etner. Waste management director, Phil Etner. Building official, inspector, Dwayne Grace, Bruce Lowry. Animal control officer, Friends of Animals, contingent on Tim Peterson taking the job. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Board of Health, Gateway Clinic Physicians, Emergency Preparedness, myself, Cable Television Public Access Coordinator, Steve Devine-Jelinski. Any discussion or questions from the council?
Yes, building official, I know we had some interest from other,
We have.
how is that?
I guess my thought was that we would finish up the engineering stuff first, but if you would like to do them both at the same time, we can try.
What does that mean?
We have the engineering RFP open, and my thought was that we would finish that one up.
If I may, I think last year what we did, or was the year before, that we went month by month until we thought that we were stable, and then made a motion for the rest of the year
Okay.
on that position. So maybe we could pull that one out and vote on that one second. Or
Table that until,
Or just approve all of them.
approve it for a month?
Yeah, approve all of them for the year, and the question of the building official month by month.
Okay. And then I can,
That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Any further questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried.
who seconded that one?
I did. Sir?
Mr. Aye.
Was that with Tim as the dog catcher?
Unfortunately, it was not.
It was, it got dropped. Okay, next year.
City council committees, read down through all of them, and then we'll do them all at once. And as I go through them, if somebody wants to trade or ask for a change, please speak up.
The first one right away.
Okay?
I've spoken with Counselor Yuso, and she's allowed me to... Yuso, sorry. Allowed me to take that position.
Sweet dreams.
Very good. Mr. Jutnan and Greg Savla. Public Works, Mike Peterson, Doug Jutnan. Any changes?
No problem with me. Someone else.
Police Protection, Chris Husso.
I'd like to
Chris?
stay on that.
Okay. Administrative Committee, Chris Husso and myself.
I'd like to stay on that. If that's all right with everybody else.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on. Chamber of Commerce. Oh, I skipped one.
Cable.
Cable Television Commission and Communications Tech Committee. Hearing none, I'll move on. Chamber of Commerce. I kind of like that. Minnesota Department of Corrections Advisory Committee. Chris, kind
Like to
of
remain on
natural
that.
for you with your job. Very good. Do we have a motion to accept those committees for the city council?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. City Administration and Department Directors. City Administrator / Clerk, City Clerk Treasurer, Tim Peterson. Deputy Clerk / Financial Director, Katie Bloom. Public Works Superintendent, Phil Hetner. Chief of Police Bryce Bogenholm, Municipal Liquor Store Manager Mark Skelton, Library Director Steve Devine-Jelinski, Motor Vehicle Deputy Registrar Karen Deline. Do you have a motion?
We don't need to vote on those ones.
We don't?
Contractor.
They're
I thought there was something with
That-
the Deputy Clerk Finance Director because of the laws. that
We
that has
just
to be done.
were required to have a city clerk, which is me. You can vote on them if you want, but
I'll make a motion, we accept the city administration and department directors.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose? Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Let's see, back to our agenda.
oh, I'm sorry, you will need to adjourn that meeting.
And I'm looking at the regular, I think we're down to everything. To have a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting.
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. Let's get back to second one. Now I'd like to call to order the regular meeting, Moose Lake City Council, Wednesday, January 9th, 2018 at, what do we have, 6:49. All right, we've already done Pledge of Allegiance. First item would be to approve the agenda. Any changes, corrections to the agenda?
None for me.
Any from the council?
Motion to accept.
Do I have a second to accept the agenda?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose? Motion carried. Under consent agenda, we have December 13th, 2017 City Council meeting minutes. Any discussion or questions?
This was Katie's first time doing this one, so maybe go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Oh. I don't know, looks excellent to me.
I thought it was excellent job myself.
Raise the bar.
Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Under 2B, financial reports, we have the city accounts payable for December 2017 and January 2018. Number 2, the city financial statements for December 2017. And number 3, the liquor store profit loss statement for December 2017.
I do have a question on check number 4323 to Sucor Construction,
What page, Chris?
7 for 27,000.
Small cities development.
What is
That's
that?
part of the Small Cities Development Program.
Oh, okay.
State money.
Yes, we get reimbursed for all of it.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the financial reports?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. Moving on to number 3, public comment. This time is reserved for comments from the public on matters not listed on the agenda. Please keep comments to 3 minutes. Hearing none, we'll move on to number 4. Departmental reports. 4A, Police Chief. The department report for December 7th through January 7th, 2018. And the full-time police officer pending approval.
Mayor, councilors, gets busy around the holidays. During the cold snap, it was actually pretty quiet, but when it warmed up this week, it got busy again. So we interviewed 7 candidates for the new police officer position, and we're currently backgrounding an individual. Hopefully get that wrapped up in the next 3 weeks to a month. Hopefully get him on board. Seems like a real nice young man, college educated, some law enforcement experience, and he's very excited about the community. Would love to get involved in coaching, and so we're really happy to get such qualified candidates to apply for the city. So if you look on page 36, I'm sorry, 35, and 36. We did our end of the year report, so just over 2,000 calls for the year, and the thing to look at is we have 43 felony cases for a small agency. That is a lot. That's a lot of felony cases. And some came from the state institutions, but the majority of them were from our officers. So they did a great job again this year. 19 gross misdemeanor cases, 110 petty misdemeanor cases, 10 juvenile cases, 61 medical assists and public assists with car doors, lockouts, 10 death calls, and 5 warrant arrests. So mileage on our squad car, we put about 30,000 on. The Tahoe, it's just at about 52,000 now. Ram truck has 123,000. So and the Charger has 115,000. So that's kind of a glance at our year end. Again, a very busy, productive year for the police department. So, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I see that you have a couple that are pretty high mileage. Generally, you don't get over 100,000 on squads. When in your budget are you looking at another squad?
We try and turn them over every 3 years, and then I'll take the old squad car. Then mine would be the spare. So I guess hoping, God willing, next year in the budget for a new squad car. So.
Right. Thank you.
So total number of calls are 2,118
Yes.
for the year.
Yes. So.
That's a lot.
Yep.
A lot of calls. Good job.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, please pass it on to the staff.
Well, thank
Great
you.
job. Thank you.
Do you want to talk about the police officer? Do we want to try and do that tonight?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea in case we get everything.
Okay. So one of the things that the chief and I talked about was conditionally approving the police officer so long as he passes his background, psych eval, physical, and all of those things. If we could have approval tonight, conditions, if all of those conditions are met, then he would be able to start a little bit sooner than the next city council meeting.
I think that would be fine. Council?
I have no problem.
That'd be great.
Hopefully next council meeting I can bring him here to introduce him to the public and the rest of y'all.
I would say we will probably do a
Swear-in type of thing.
swearing and a pin and all that, but
A motion
Yeah.
tonight pending,
I'll make a motion that we give a conditional offer to,
Travis Magdaz.
yeah, I can't say that last name, pending the background and physical and psychological testing.
Yep.
do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. Public Works Superintendent report.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, had a really
really nice, relaxed month this month. It was kind of nice to just get caught up on shop work and just some routine maintenance stuff that we've kicked off to the side all the rest of the summer. Pumped 3.6 million gallons of drinking water, collected 10.5 million gallons of wastewater. The NPDES permit, which is the sewer permit, which expires the end of July 2018, is completed. It's being sent out tomorrow. Good. Other than that, snow removal, as always. Not a whole lot of snow out there, so we're finding other stuff to keep us busy. We're going to start right-of-way clearing here, probably in the end of this month, beginning of February, if it continues to be slow. Other than that, that's all I got. The only thing I want to mention to the public and everybody in the city of Moose Lake, with the colder temps and lack of snow cover, we're looking at some real deep frost depths already. We're already down 4 to 5 feet in frost, so water mains are only buried 8 feet in the ground. So on the city's website, there's a link to the City of Moose Lake frozen water and sewer line policy. I suggest everyone go and look at that. Just familiarize yourself with that. Go down the guidelines, check your water temperature. If you have any questions at all, please call the Public Works Department. We don't like having frozen sewer lines or water lines any more than anybody else does. We don't like them either. So if we can be preventative on any of this, we would be all for to help anybody who needs any help learning how to do this or figuring out how to do this, or if they have questions. It's really not that hard. But if you have questions, please call, because we like to be preventative instead of trying to catch everything by the tail when it's all happening and nobody can keep up. So, okay?
Very good, thank you.
One quick thing, the sewer permit that you brushed over real quick, what was the bill for that going to be?
1,200.
No, the bill from Bolton and Mink.
Oh, like $5,200 or something.
So we went from a bill of about $5,200, and by having Phil do it, which is a ton of work, went down to $1,200, $1,240.
So, and you're going to pay that $1,240. That's additional to Bolton and Mink. That's our cost to the PCA.
So that's,
Well, I think we were at 500% for our cost for engineering fees last year of our budget, so.
that would have to do with road projects and
Okay.
flood stuff, so.
Just bringing it up since sent over
But what I'm trying to say is I think you went above and beyond doing something that we don't normally ask of you, and actually took it on yourself and did a really good job, so thank you.
Phil.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Technology, library report. Steve has, you come on?
I think he was just gonna leave this in here for your review, unless he wants to come up, he certainly can. But each month now, I think we will be looking at putting in a technology report so that the council is updated on some of the goings-on. There's a lot of different projects that are being worked on, and as things come up, we'll try and keep the council aware of everything going on.
Well, number 3 talks about security cameras, and I think that we kind of talked about that last month.
Yep.
Our letter A, says that cameras in town are all functional except for the intersection camera of Highway 73 and Elm. And are all these cameras, Chief, are all those at the police department? If they're functioning, should they not be up on your screen at the police department, or am I incorrect on that?
When I looked at them all last Wednesday, they were not. I haven't reviewed all of them since.
Okay, so
I did relay to Steve which ones are not.
so they're functional but not working.
So,
Okay. All right.
So that's,
So that's really not correct, I guess, is what I'm stating. I guess if we could please verify that for next meeting, it'd
Sure.
be great.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Counselor.
We're not there yet.
Well, excuse me, sir. But you were looking at it. I'm sorry. All right, any other questions on technology or library report? Oh, very good, thank you all. D, city engineer, and do you have anything you want to put in place?
No, other than just, again, Steve has retired. They did reach out to ask if they should send somebody. I told them no, there's no update to be had, so I thought we would just save the trip.
Very good. Number 4E, Chamber of Commerce update.
Whoops. Mr. Mayor and Chamber, or not Chamber, members of the council, thanks for having me. Just a few things. As a reminder, we have our annual meeting on Saturday, the 13th, up at the Sioux Line Event Center. I believe we're starting at 6 o'clock. Everyone is welcome. It's always fun. We try not to make it too formal and too boring. So we try to have some fun. We give prizes away and talk very little and enjoy company very much. So if you'd like to come, we'd sure enjoy having you. Another thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, you did see our strategic plan process that we put together. We did set a date for an area community leaders meeting, which is March 5th. I think some have been notified. We certainly would like to have a representative from the council attend that. The location is to be determined yet, because we're trying to figure out what would be the best maybe time and place for that to happen. But our hope with that meeting is that the areas, we can all use each other as far as different events that are happening. I like to use the example that if I'm going to Fleet Farm in Brainerd, I'm pretty sure Baxter doesn't care that I say Brainerd. So I think that applies in this area as well, and I think if we all really communicate well together, that we could really grow as an area. So that's coming up on the 5th. That's to be determined. We will let you know that, but it is March 5th. We did decide on that. So my suspicion is that it will be an evening meeting so that we can accommodate most people. But to be determined, we will get back to you on that. So. Next up, also, just as a reminder, we have the Business Expo coming up this spring in April. Just have that, top of mind. It's down at the arena. Last year was an extraordinarily successful event, and I think it's April 21st. I should have wrote the date down, but my apologies. April 21st, okay. 9 to 1. Thank you so much. April 21st. It was a very successful event last year. It really showcased the businesses in the area, all, not just large businesses. We had everything from a couple of Fortune 500 companies down to a few people just starting out their businesses. So we hope that it grows every year, and it's very valuable for the area. And then last but certainly not least is Ice Bocce coming up on February 10th. So last month I didn't have a whole lot of information. I have slightly more information this month. So I would invite you all to go to the Chamber's Facebook page, to which you will find a link that shows people playing Ice Bocce, or how it's been done in other communities. Not many communities have done it, but it's my understanding 3 have done it, and it's been extraordinarily successful. So the idea behind Ice Bocce is similar to bocce ball. In the summertime, you have a pick, you place it, and then your pucks, but we're sliding them on the ice rather than throwing balls. And it is co-ed, and you have to have a minimum of 2 women on your team. And the registration will begin at 10 o'clock. There'll be a demonstration at 10:30 so that people can kind of see how it is. This is the first year. The main goal is to have fun, to bring people together, to have an event in the wintertime that can draw people to this area. Our hope is that the businesses, we're going to have the Muni, hopefully. We would also have the brewery up there at the same time at the park. And I would remind you that it is a chamber event, but the proceeds are going to the area post-proms. If any of you have been a business owner in this area, you know exactly how many letters you get from different organizations asking. So hopefully we can really give them a boost for that. There will be a cash prize for the winning team, and we hope that this is something that would grow throughout the years. So it's going to be happening up at the park, February 10th, 10 o'clock, 4-person teams. If you don't have a team together, at least come up and watch it and laugh at people. So that is all I have. But I also did bring registration forms with the rules for ice bocce. So as I'm sure you're all going to want to have a team, I'm going to pass them around.
I made sure Tim got an application
Yeah, well,
for
good.
How many do you want?
his city team.
Any questions?
Sorry, there's another.
Thank you very
Alrighty,
much.
thank you.
Gotta have the rules.
We also have another guest here tonight, which I'll call ahead. Let's see, where are we on
6G and 6.
H and
G.
Where's
G and H.
G, Moose Lake Brewing temporary off-sale request for February 17th. Do you want to come up? Thank you. That way we can get you out the door without going through all the rest of it.
Page 49 in your packet has, 49 and 50 has letters in there as well.
Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you for your opportunity to ask you guys about this. What we're looking at trying to do, I did just find out also that we would like to add February 10th to this today for the ice bocce. However, the first two that I had written letters for, one of them originally we wanted to try to hold something at the fire hall. They explained why plugging the parking lot up wouldn't be a good idea, but it would be okay because the arena will have the ice off on March 12th, and then on March 17th, we would like to do like a fundraiser PR thing with the fire department, and what we were planning on doing is a beanbag tournament like we did for the Oktoberfest. We had a huge turnout for that. It was very successful. We would take half of those entry fees. We would raise the dollar price on our beers $1. We would match that as a company, and we'd present the fire department with a check as it's a PR event for St. Patrick's Day is what we're looking at doing for that one. The second one is for February 17th ice fishing contest. It would be out in front of the brewery, not far offshore. Grimm's Bait, he just kind of took over the bait shop a little while ago, was kind of going to partner with that. What we want to do is be able to make a little ice bar out there. I have the Sturgeon Lake Lions Club willing to help us out, picking up trash, making sure things stay clean, drilling holes, things like that. And then they also have a request I'd like to bring up at this time to add a temporary license to do a meat raffle. They have a form all filled out, which I have a copy of if you guys would approve to sign, if that event sounds like it would be something we'd be able to do. Yeah, other than that, the bocce ball on February 10th, we'd be glad to be there. If permission given, we'll show up. So.
On your ice fish contest, are you looking at offshore parking, like, like,
Yes.
I don't know how many you get, but you may want to talk to, if this is approved, to the arena director about parking in the arena and find out if there's tournaments going on or whatever, because there may be, if there's a hockey tournament on a weekend, they'll fill up the whole thing with hockey
Great.
cars. So just so you're aware of that, it's something that,
My plan, we've talked about this with Jordan and I quite a bit. I was also, part of the Will River one that that one's been going on for 60 years before they lost the lake. It would be something similar to that. I personally would come in, I would plow very close to shore, a parking area that would accommodate the amount of cars that would be out there. Right now, there's 16
Okay.
inches of ice, which is safe for, per square foot, any amount of vehicles unless you started stacking them. So,
Okay.
I would watch those ice conditions, and I would, make arrangements even to cancel if ice conditions became too poor, which it's not looking like we're worried about that this year. But that was my initial plan for that, and I would be more than happy to talk to the rink to see if they're able to accommodate that at the arena as well that day.
Where were you saying that you were going to have the ice bar?
So the ice bar
Out
would
on the
be,
lake?
basically, we're going to make a circle on the ice. The circle is going to be big enough. We'll drill 150 holes. That's the maximum we can have without having propositioned the DNR for this and getting permission at the beginning of the year. I've talked with them. They're okay with how we're running it. We would do a circle on the ice, basically starting and ending at / the bar, / Lions Club post where they would do their raffle or 50/50 or whatever they end up doing for that. You know, beers would be served at that location, and then, like I said, the Lions Club has 7 to 8 people that would assist us in keeping that area clean and everything picked up. We'd have, you know, people walking around collecting cups and things like that. It's important to me as well to keep the shorelines free of clutter or anything like that, so.
Okay.
I have a couple questions. Have you spoke to your insurance company about liability? Because we've had, the last time we had a ice fishing contest, there was that snowmobiler that got killed after.
Right.
And I guess that is where the snowmobiles come up off the lake, is right by your place to go across.
Yeah.
So that's a concern for me. And then, where will you be driving the cars in? Are you going just right in front of your place,
I
right
would
through
go from the
the?
public access over to that area with a 3-car wide road.
Okay.
But I would take care of plowing that.
Well, then, that again concerns me with the plowed road, because you got snowmobiles coming across the lake in the dark, and you hit one of those things, and it's, so,
Yeah, right now there's hockey rinks and things and banks that.
I know,
same
and
problem,
it's a danger, and I just know that's why we don't have ice fishing contests for the city anymore, is because of what happened after that
Mm-hmm.
one with the plowing and the snowmobile. So I guess,
It would be up to them to cover whole.
That's what it is. So you do-
Due to the idea of what we're trying to do,
Okay.
we
So-
do have to pay an additional fee for it.
Okay.
I would definitely not want that to happen, absolutely. And the Willow River one, that's also heavily traveled with sleds and things like that, more on a recreational purpose. It's
Mm-hmm.
not part of a major trail, but the general Andrews Trail comes down and goes across and
Yeah.
back up.
Yep.
It's an unfortunate thing. I didn't know that had happened, but
Yeah.
at Willow, we hadn't had anything, no tragedies in 60 years. Hopefully, we could continue that luck.
Yeah, I just want you to keep in mind, because that is where the snowmobilers come up to
Yeah, so
cross to
they,
the arena, so,
Just to the south of me a ways.
Yep.
My plan was to have that basically straight out from my property line to the left a little ways. There's a hole there. It's not going to
Yeah.
be, 20 feet or 18 feet deep. Like, I'm not going out to the center. Our hope is to just get a group of people together and have a good time.
yeah, and I mean, I support that. I just
Yep.
think of these things that have come across before, and
Right.
I just
No, I
want
understand.
that to
Yeah, I
be in
always worried
mind
about
that,
that with with Oktoberfest. We were worried about people crossing the road and go back and forth, things like that.
Yeah.
I could put cones out doing that and try to flatten it back out the best I can afterwards, even if that's something that would help, but willing to work at it.
All right. Any other questions by the council?
So we're looking at permission to sell beer at these 2 events,
3.
3 events.
There's only 2 letters. The 10th is an additional one that we're.
So we're not
I
counting.
found out about that
Bocce.
today. as I
That's
walked
the
by.
ice
That's the ice
bocce.
box.
and this,
Yeah.
the St. Patrick's Day is
tournament.
not going to be at the fire department, it's at the
Correct.
arena.
Moved from the fire department, worried about parking, which made perfect sense, crystal clear, to the arena.
So, but you'd still want the option to sell at the bocce ball, wouldn't you? Or-
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
So it would be 3 events then. So, I so move that we allow them to sell beer at these events, and knowing that we're not responsible for the events at all, or pro or con, we're just approving to let them sell beer.
What's that, Tim? All right. So, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, open for discussion? Questions, discussion?
Yeah, if one of you would like to, I would ask that you do. One of the things that as a city that we will want as a part of this motion is that we receive liability waivers that cover the specific area. So their liquor, as a part of their liquor license, we receive insurance for their building, for the areas that they know that they will sell. With a temporary off-sale permit, we will want liability coverage that specifically covers where they are going. So in the instance of the arena parking lot, we would want our arena covered, or the lake, we would want that area covered, or bocce ball will be down by the park. So we will want the park covered. Otherwise, those are city locations. So that is something that we would want it as a part of this.
Do you want me to
Amend the motion.
amend the motion to add the city to have the insurance waivers in hand before we can give the permits?
And then does Chris accept that?
Right, Chris made the second, you'll have to accept that?
Second. Well, you're saying that it exempts our buildings from any liability?
We're just making sure they have insurance.
Yes.
Yep. We don't have any limit, we're just saying insurance.
Any other questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So,
Ask one quick question, Tim.
yes, please.
The signature on that temporary thing for the Sturgeon Lake Lions Club, is that something I should bring you guys right away?
Oh.
For the meat,
And that's just your office?
is that the meat raffle portion that you're talking about? So that's a gambling permit if they're having a raffle.
It's a meat raffle, they call that gambling, it's not like
What-
50/50, that's like.
Yeah, what day is that one?
That is February 17th.
That's February 17th. Okay,
I
so
have the application fully filled out, I just have to get.
how about if the council's okay, so that one requires city council approval as well?
Anything in your jurisdictional area, yeah, that's what he said.
Yep.
It's in Moose Lake, they have to approve
So
of that. Or
if you are all okay with it, make it conditional upon me receiving the form and ensuring that it's completely filled out and all of that.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Very good. Okay, well, moving back to number 5, previously discussed business. We have 5A, the arena project updates. And maybe Tim, you could tell about our new acquisition?
Yeah, the Olympia ice resurfacer was delivered yesterday. It looks great.
I thought it was a fire truck.
Does it run great?
It runs extremely quietly. You would never know that it's running. We had Senator Lori and Representative Sundin come down today for pictures, along with the mayor, Dan Benzie, the Olympia sales rep, and then thank you, Lois, for coming down, and then also sent that information up to the Pine Journal so that hopefully we can get some positive press for the legislators helping us with the Mighty Ducks grant. So now that we have paid the bills, we will be submitting for reimbursement.
Very good.
Very good. Moving on to 5B, school property small area planning meeting, which is scheduled for January 24th. And it'll be here
It'll be here.
at time, we should announce it if we have it,
Was it 6 or 6 there? Hold on one
6
second.
p.m., I thought.
6 p.m.?
6 p.m. right here in this room.
No, I think.
Moving on to, yes, Mr. Peterson.
So everybody can come? So if we have a whole council there, is that a?
Not, I mean, the city, yes, the city council technically can come if any more of you are planning on coming. The mayor is already on there, Councilor Junton is already on there. If any more of you are planning on being there, please let me know so that I can post it.
Can you re-clarify what area that is for me?
That's the land that the school owns, kind of over by Shopko and Quick Trip and all that stuff.
All the council could come as long as we're not making any,
Part of it.
as long as we're not voting on anything.
No, you guys cannot be in the same room discussing city business unless I publish it, in which case all of you can be there doing whatever you want. I just,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, if anybody else wants to come, I just need to know so I can publish that it's going to be a meeting.
We could just publish it, and that covers it.
Okay?
And I'm coming, but you had to give me the option to.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
6 o'clock. 24th.
Okay.
Any other questions? Next item on 5C is the sales tax update.
Just, we've had 2 initial payments, and then we got our first kind of cleanup payment that tells you how much we collected in November that was for October sales. So we collected $14,380 in November, which if you multiply that out was roughly $172,000 per year. I think we will probably see the summer months be a little bit busier, but I would say we're off to a good start.
It's nice to see.
Fantastic. Thank you. Moving on to new business, 6A, Moose Lake Post Prom donation request. That's page 39.
In the top left corner, I put what we have contributed over the last 3 years.
What's in the count right now?
After the $2,000. Yeah.
$650?
Yeah, but we just gave the Historical Society a check for $2,000, so that will be coming back up throughout the year.
And I haven't gotten a check for, we probably are owed a check very soon.
I'll make a motion to give $300 to the post-prom.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6B, Rep Engineering Services, REP. REP.
I just included the request for proposals for engineering services in there, just so that everyone would see that it is there. I sent it to the league, and it's not up there, so I sent them another email today to try and get it on there again. But the closing date is February 14th, which is the next council meeting, so I will come to the meeting with a list of who has all applied. My question, and I guess we don't need to decide tonight, we could decide at the February meeting, is how we would like to go about interviewing these candidates. A couple of options. When we did the city attorney, we did the whole council. Sometimes we've used just the personnel committee. A third option that I'd like to throw out is having a city council member, a member of the street committee, and then the public works superintendent and myself interview the engineer.
Mayor, that works for me, if
That's fine.
for everybody else.
My question more was, should we move the Valentine Day City Council meeting?
That is up to you all.
Well, I'm sure you guys would like to take your wives out.
The 13th.
Yes, we would.
The 13th is my anniversary, so I get all my Valentine's Day out of the way.
Well, I'm sitting there with a bunch of men, and I'm a woman, and I would think you'd want to take your
That was
wives
the
out.
first thing we thought of, actually, Chris. Thank you for bringing it up.
It was just on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I don't know why I say these stupid things.
I don't either. I mean, could we make it like the week before or the week after?
We can do whatever you want.
You guys, I mean, if you want to make your wife happy, I wouldn't think you'd want to be sitting here.
I mean, if you do this, I'm going to go home and tell my wife that I suggested this, but
She could see the tape.
It's our anniversary, so.
Can we not do it the week before, do it the week after?
I'm
The
okay
third
with that.
Wednesday you're talking?
Yep, the 21st.
Or what was the 15th? You couldn't do it on the 15th?
15th is a Thursday.
That's a
We
Thursday.
can't have it on the
Saturday the 7th.
I think we have an alternate date.
It makes it really hard to get the council packets ready to go.
For
Couldn't
who?
we do it on the
The
next
staff
day, the
that put the
15th?
council packets together.
I would be fine with the 15th.
Could we do it on the 15th, just a day later?
15th?
That's
a
fine.
Thursday.
15th, you got basketball. Basketball. Coaching basketball team,
At what time?
6:30.
No.
6:30 to 8.
To call your assistant coach. Your wife, basketball.
Wow, basketball takes precedence. I can't miss
Go to the
that.
light, Ted.
Whatever the council suggests, well, whatever the majority votes on. I don't know, 7th, how much work you got to
15th would be
listen
great.
to this.
I mean, the
15th?
7th works for me too, I just,
No, we cannot do the first week.
okay, well then
The 13th?
Ted will have to call, that's his anniversary.
So 15th of, are we saying 15th of February?
Yes.
Or the 12th.
I can't do the 12th.
Making it earlier than the Wednesday is a bad idea. If we can go later than the normal one, that's fine.
All right,
15th.
15th of February.
Okay.
We have consensus?
Now your wives can thank me.
Pretty sure it was our idea.
Appreciate that.
Sure.
Can we have it earlier?
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
As long as it's not,
6 or 5:30 or?
No, earlier, like 4 o'clock?
Well, we'll just put Chris in charge of the meeting and have it at 6:30 and we'll be done by 7.
She does such a great job.
we can do it at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
At 4
City
o'clock.
council?
Okay,
Okay.
Is that all right with you?
Oh,
Is
that's
that everybody?
sure.
Lois, are you good? We need Lois.
Very seldom have any meetings on Thursdays.
All right. Got consensus for 4 PM on February 15th.
Sure.
And what does that have to do with the engineer?
Nothing, but,
Oh,
okay, so, again, and this is kind of my suggestion, Public Works Superintendent, myself, a member of the street committee, and another one of you.
And Doug, we could just work it out,
If you want to go, that's fine. If you have time.
make it either one.
Preferably somebody that's easier to schedule meetings with.
Greg?
I mean, out of all of you.
Greg?
I'm fine.
Are you saying, never mind.
You're already there, aren't you?
Who's,
I don't know.
are we
Greg Sarvela?
Yes,
Did you volunteer?
I will.
You did.
okay,
This
Greg,
year.
who else we have?
Greg and
Talking
Mike?
about the-
And I'll be there unless,
It's for the engineer.
Talk about the engineer interview, right?
Right.
Yeah.
do the interviews.
And Phil and yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And Katie. Yes, it was Councilor Peterson.
Okay, good enough.
You're supposed to cover it like this. And all right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Brings us to 6C, the LBAE training.
This is the Local Board of Appeals and Equalization Training. Please, 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 somebody take it.
I thought we
That's the
had a
online one,
person.
right?
No, we don't.
I wanted to bring a certificate here tonight, but
The person that we have is me, and she specifically said I don't count.
that's correct.
Well, Wasn't it
You need
somebody else?
two
I thought somebody else.
council members, they're timed out.
But my time's up now.
Oh, yes, you have to take it every 2 years or something, I think.
Okay.
Well, Mike, you have the information in the back of your head already, don't you?
Absolutely. I'll,
He's taken it twice so far and hasn't,
I had a computer Katie had, and then she changed the password in it, and I couldn't get into that one. That took me about 3 hours to figure that out. And then
Not feeling very confident here, Mike.
I
Okay,
am
I'll try.
Thanks, Chris.
so technically savvy that
And then as soon as you're done with it, please let me know.
hopefully the council members will get right on that. Thank you very much.
and it's got to be on,
Has to be completed by what date?
By January 31st. But if I say January 21st, can we have it done by then?
it has to
Is
be
there
on
a class you can go to?
Explorer.
No, it's 20 minutes on a computer.
It's online.
It's 20 minutes long,
But it's got to
yeah.
be on
Yeah, it was in
Explorer
the class.
9 or 11. Can't be 7, can't be XL, because
Can't be
that's,
on 10?
yeah,
I'm out. I'm done. I can't do it.
that's what it says in the instructions. So that's,
Okay, we'll work that out.
Mike promises he'll take it the third
I'll
time.
have it done. Next time you see me, I'll have it done somehow.
Very good. We're covered. Thank you.
Not yet, we're not.
We do have to have two people, or they put us on a 2-year,
Need one.
huh? One person? Mike, we're cheering you on.
I need a motion,
Third
Mike.
strike is, it's a home run.
Be in here in City Hall, and they can
We have all the confidence in the world in
be
you.
through it if I have to.
I volunteered Tim as a coach for you.
Tim should take it with him.
I think we need a coach. We've got it made. All right, I guess that's covered. Moving on to 6D, lawful gambling Knights of Columbus.
Page 46 is a permit for lawful gambling, an application to conduct bingo.
So they filled it out. This is ready to be approved.
It is.
When is the event, or
January 21st, 2018.
yeah, they don't have to have that, okay.
I so move we approve the application for bingo.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6E, firewall purchase.
Our firewall is getting up there in age, and if we have higher bandwidth speeds, we will need a new firewall anyways. So there's another item that comes after this that makes it so that we need a new firewall, but my suggestion is also that our firewall is old and we need a new firewall. This is the quote for it.
yep, this is a must. So I so move that we purchase a new firewall at $3,632.
Did you budget for this? Was that part of the administrative budget?
It was not.
Page are
48.
Red ink.
I'll second that motion.
Any other questions, discussion? And this will be installed by who we purchase? Steve will purchase?
CW is our IT company, and they will install it for us.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. And along with that, we have 6F Internet Service Provider.
All right, so with the sale of the wireless portion of Moose Tech, the now just fiber owning Moose Tech, we are one of 2 customers that Moose Tech has. Their bandwidth is going to go from 175 megabytes to 500. Like I said, there's only 2 customers. Obviously, we would like our bandwidth to go up. Right now, we have 20, I believe. I have a quote for 1 gig from one provider that would cost $630 per month. I have the quote from Moose Tech, which is for 50 megabytes, which would be about $750 per month. The quote from the other company is basically, say, 20 times more bandwidth for less money. The thing that we will lose is with fiber, it is more secure, certainly. We have an actual wire that goes from one location to another. With the, if we were to move to another company, we would need to use a VPN, which is basically you sign in online before you connect into the server. The one thing that I will say is that we will be setting up a VPN with or without this, so that really shouldn't be that big of a deal. I know that we want to stay local. I know that is something that we have always tried to do. We've always been pretty understanding, I think, with the bandwidth, waiting for Moose Tech to renegotiate their contract. I am slightly to a lot disappointed that our monthly rate with Moose Tech right now is $1,000, and it's only going to go down to $750. I think it should be considerably less, considering we're only getting 50 megabytes of bandwidth.
What are we, is there going to be any problem if we stay at 50 for the next year? I take it this is a one-year contract.
No, it's just a piece of paper with a quote on it. There's really no contract.
But I mean, in a year, we could choose to go somewhere else.
We
Well, I'm
could.
trying to ask, are we losing some service, or are we going to have problems with anything we have?
No.
Are we going to stop any
No.
development and technology that we had planned because we're at 50?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
We will just pay too much.
Why would we pay more to get less,
Yeah.
just to keep it local?
Yeah, but you still also have point-to-point connections, which you don't have with the other one.
Right, so that's the VPN part, so what you're saying is the benefit to fiber is that it is more secure.
Right.
It's multiple sites.
The problem with the point-to-point that I have is that if you would have asked me a month ago, how much does it cost for point-to-point, I would have told you it costs us $0. And if you would ask me today, how much does point-to-point cost you, I would say that it's going to cost us $500 per month, and come spring, it will cost us $600 per month. So, to me, it seems as though we went from having 300 and some customers with Moose Tech down to 2. There's a lot more bandwidth that Moose Tech now has, and our bill is going from 1,000 to 750. I mean, we have a quote for 20 times the bandwidth, and it costs less. And I guess I don't understand that.
Mayor?
Yes.
Talked to Harlan on this subject, and it's just our expenses. We can't cut them anymore with it. We don't want to go backwards with this situation like we have in the past. So, yeah, if you think you can get a better deal and go with someone else, I would suggest let's do that.
What is the I'd like to know what the downsize is, though.
Well, Greg was talking a little bit
Well,
over here.
With using power company, you also got point-to-points, direct point-to-point.
And that's what costs us, because we have to have IP
Without,
numbers.
if you're changing providers, you don't have no point-to-point anymore.
Right, that was the conversation on the VPN. So instead of having it be point-to-point, which I said is absolutely more secure, if we use a VPN, which many companies do, you log into the server remotely. So the liquor store logs in through our server through our bandwidth rather than just through the fiber. So Absolutely. Point-to-point is more secure.
Is this something that has to be decided tonight? Absolutely.
Nope.
I'd like to speak to Harlan myself. I don't know if the council members, if we could delay this just a month, just to get a little more info on this.
Really have for 6 months.
Consensus, or what do you mean?
Okay, got consensus. All right. Table it just for 1 month, just to maybe come back with more info and then make a more educated decision. Thank you. Not that you didn't give us all we needed. Thank you, sir.
Honestly, I was making it up as we go. VPN.
Yeah. Thank you. And we have completed G and H. We're moving on to 6I, which is a 2018 F-350 purchase, state bid.
Yep, this was budgeted for through the Public Works Department. This is the state bid for this truck. We recommend that we pass it.
Council?
Purchase.
So this is the truck and equipment, snowplow
Colors and
equipment?
action.
Nope, the first one is just for the truck,
There's all sorts of colors.
because that one's just state bid is just the truck.
So is that a motion down there?
I was just looking at the colors and I was wondering which color it was.
White.
Okay, you better slide.
And this was budgeted, the budget that we passed,
Yes.
just so everyone knows.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we accept the state bid for Midway Ford for the truck. Second. Any questions, discussion?
Just discussion. I just do want to commend them for getting the extended service contract. It's 7 years, 75,000 mile bumper to bumper. So good work on that. I mean, that's not much more money you're paying.
It's 2,500.
Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. And 6J, the plow purchase, we got 2 quotes. The first one is on 52 and 53, it looks like.
Are they the same equipment?
Yeah, this is just to put the plow, this would be the plow for the new truck.
What are you recommending?
The low bid is Northwoods Hydraulic and Equipment.
6749. I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second, and it's local.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. 6K, the 2017 audit engagement letter. And that is on page 54 from Clifton, Larson, and Allen. And what are we looking at?
20,000.
20,000.
With the possible additional fees of 3,000.
We won't have a single audit.
That's on page 60.
You have any statements? Other, this is a recommendation to do
Yep.
so.
Yep.
Council,
Motion to approve.
have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 7, reports and correspondence. Do you have anything? I'm showing nothing on the agenda.
You had something about fire district, Ted, you wanted to bring up?
We were under the committee and board meeting minutes on number 8. First one is a fire protection district meeting minutes for November 14th, 2017. I'm not sure if we have the fire call for that month. We don't. For 8B, the fire protection for December 12th, we do have in the handouts. We do have the December run calls. There was 30 calls. And you see the city Moose Lake at 13, Moose Lake Township 5, Silver 3, Windermere Township 5, and out of the area, it's a mutual agreement, there's 4. And you can see the ones also. With this handout is the end-of-year report for 2017. And there was 411 calls total. And as you go down through it, there's 265 medical, 46 dispatches canceled, 21 fire alarms, 20, that's a motor vehicle with injuries, 20, building fires, 9, passenger vehicle fires, 5, motor vehicles with injuries, there were 5, power lines down, 4, grass fire, 4, CO2 detector alarm, 4, electrical wiring equipment problem, 3, carbon monoxide incident, 3, brush pile, 3, fire others, 3, smoke and odor removal, 3, rescue extraction, 1, a chimney fire, 1, a camper RV fire, a fuel burner furnace fire was 1, off-road equipment fire, 1, road freight transport fire, 1, smoke detector activation, 1, toxic condition, 1, vehicle accident cleanup, 1, water ice rescue, 1, a water steam leak, 1. That's for 2017 total hours, 2,810. So that's quite a breakdown of events. If you look on the next page, if you break it down to area, City of Moose Lake had 208. These are call locations. Windermere Township, 96. Moose Lake Township, 64. Out of the area, 31. Silver Township, 12. So quite a few. There's a lot more data if you want to go into how it broke out into each area. But very busy year for the fire department. I'd like to thank them and all the firemen involved and officers and so forth. Excellent job.
I think they gave home.
Moving on to number 9, which is announcements. Now, we had a change already. Let's put that correction in there, which is the 15th.
At 4 p.m.
15th at 4 p.m. Regular Moose Lake City Council meeting will be on Thursday, February 15th at 4 p.m. right here. Moose Lake Water and Light Commission regular meeting Wednesday, January 17th at 4 p.m. in the Moose Lake Conference Room. The Moose Lake Housing Redevelopment Authority Board, February 12th at 11 a.m., Hillside Manor office. The Moose Lake Area Fire District is Tuesday, February 13th, 6:30 p.m. at the Emergency Response Center. The Moose Lake Park Board meeting Monday, February 5th, 6:30 p.m., the City Council Town Board Chamber right here. Library Board meeting February 12th at 1:45 p.m. at the City Conference Room. Moose Lake Technology Committee Thursday, February 1st, 9 a.m. in the City Conference Room.
How'd I do?
Wonderful.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Hold on.
Move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.